been to hundreds of airports around the country. This one is special. The history of it, this being one of the oldest operating airfields in the country.
This airfield is an amazingly special place. It's got history going back 100 years. It's got businesses operating from this field. It's got an educational program over at the museum.
Just off of I-5 and Highway 14 in the Vancouver National Historic Reserve, Pearson Field is rich in aviation history. Early legendary pilots flew from Pearson. The first international non-stop transpolar flight landed at the Vancouver airfield with General George C. Marshall to greet the Russian crew.
Pearson Field is owned by the City of Vancouver. We operate this as an enterprise fund, meaning that the airport has to be totally self-sustaining.
This airport is like Vancouver's off-ramp in the aviation infrastructure. And we're standing on the transient parking area where airplanes come in from all over the country and go from here and go to the hotels right over there, to the restaurants all over town.
There are approximately 50,000 aircraft operations a year from Pearson Field. With 60% of these being business-related, Pearson is an economic driver for the area.
If you combine all of these small businesses and the museum and that type of thing, we bring in roughly $27 million a year into the local economy.
You have flight instructors here that are earning time on the way to being professional pilots. As an example, there are a number of pilots that learned here on this field that are flying big aircraft over at Portland.
Some families, father and son, go fishing together, they go hunting together. My dad and I learned to fly together. And it's something we always shared.
Pearson Field recently received national recognition as a 2012 Historic Aerospace Site by the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. Unfortunately, just a couple weeks after the ceremony, the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, suddenly laid out plans to change how Pearson flights would be controlled. The ruling would impact Pearson arrival and departures by creating a block when PDX flights were in the Pearson traffic area.
Basically holding for 20, 30 minutes or longer, waiting to get into Pearson Field, and same thing with people trying to fly out of Pearson Field. We're concerned about if we have a bunch of airplanes flying at roughly the same altitude, that there might be a hazardous condition that's created for this.
Concerned about these conditions, plus the environmental and economic impacts, the City of Vancouver and U.S. representatives from Washington and Oregon asked, and were granted, a reprieve in order for the FAA to consider stationing the control tower operator for Pearson Field at Pearson, rather than the current situation at PDX.
There's a lot of cooperative work that goes on amongst all users and stakeholders of this airspace. All of us are together committed to this being a safe and efficiently managed set of airspace.
They already have a position at Portland Tower for Pearson traffic, and the smart thing to do, we think, is simply have that position here at Pearson where they can see what's going on rather than over there.
The City of Vancouver and the other stakeholders will be working with the FAA for some middle ground in the coming weeks on this issue. For more information on Pearson Field, go to the city's website at cityofvancouver.us/Pearson.